Breaking Chicago Bears news. My name is Harrison Graham. A couple of roster cuts coming in early for Ryan Poles and company. Excuse the hair, the setup. I'm at my in-laws' house, just hopped out of the pool. That's why I'm looking not how I normally do necessarily, but got to bring you breaking news when it happens, whether we're in the studio, I'm at my house, I'm at my in-laws. I'm in my car, pulled over, wherever it is, we got you covered. So subscribe to support the channel. It's 100% free, closing in on 70,000 subscribers. The Bears have cut quarterback P.J. Walker and offensive lineman Alex Leatherwood in a pair of pretty notable moves. I mean, a couple of guys that I would have considered on the roster bubble, right? And the fact that they've made these moves here on Sunday, one day after the final preseason game, with more than almost 2 days to go until roster cutdown day on Tuesday at 3 o'clock Central, feels pretty notable to me. Now, I want to start with P.J. Walker and what it means for the quarterback room and obviously Tyson Bagent. So number one, P.J. Walker had a quote after the game yesterday. Courtney Cronin, credit her with this, and he basically said, look, I'm no idiot. I can read the room. I can feel what's happening. I think he was starting to understand that, okay, I could actually get cut here. My time here might actually be cut short despite signing a 2-year contract. Typically, when you sign a 2-year deal, you're going to make a team. Now, the way it was structured, his cap hit, had he not been cut, was going to be just under $1.7 million, and now that they cut him, it's going to be about a $2.05 million dead cap hit, so it's only an extra $300,000 against the Bears cap, so I don't think that's necessarily a huge deal, but he was that bad. I mean, that's just the bottom line. That's why they've made this move, because you don't take on more money, even if it's not significantly more, unless you just flat out got beat out. And that appears to be the case here. Tyson Bagent went out there, gotten better and better and better throughout training camp, elevated past Nathan Peterman before that second preseason game, balled out in that second preseason game against the Colts, which really made this a possibility. And then even though the raw numbers didn't look awesome in the third preseason game, had Steven Carlson caught that touchdown in the end zone, the interception never happens, and he's shown off the mobility and just the calmness, right? Like, when Bagent goes in, do you feel like he's a rookie undrafted free agent? Because I don't. Like, he looks like someone who's capable of being a backup. Now, when you think big picture for this season, is it a bit of a risk that Tyson Bagent might be your QB2 and you're one hit away from putting in a rookie undrafted quarterback in there? Yeah, there are risks that come with that, which is why I kind of had kept saying that I bet the Bears carry all three: Fields, P.J. Walker, and Tyson Bagent, but that is not the case. Now, could they go out there and try to secure another veteran backup based on other teams' cuts here? It's a possibility, but I don't get the sense that that's going to happen. It does kind of feel like it's going to be Bagent as QB2 and then either Walker or Nathan Peterman on the practice squad, but to cut Walker this early, this kind of signals to me that they might just be moving on there. Like, they're just going to let him go elsewhere because it just didn't work. Maybe they came to the conclusion he's not a good fit for this offense. I'm not sure, but despite playing slightly better this week, but against third and fourth stringers, it just never clicked with PJ in this system, did it? Like, he just didn't look comfortable. He had happy feet in the pocket. It wasn't the right fit for whatever reason. And look, I like that signing. Dual threat, experience with DJ Moore. Like, it made sense for him to be Justin Fields' backup. But at some point, you have to acknowledge how people are playing. And Tyson Bagent outplayed PJ Walker. Are you surprised that the Bears have cut PJ Walker? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. I'll admit I'm a little bit surprised. On a scale of 1 to 10, 6.5. I'm not shocked, but bit surprised that they have made this move. Y for yes and for no. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, let's shift to the offensive line now, and that, of course, is Alex Leatherwood, who, I'll be honest, I thought he was on this team. I did. He had a couple of false starts in that second preseason game. And just with the injuries up front right now, I kind of thought at least initially he would be here, right? Like, That's a bit of a surprise. No, I mean, think about the injuries you have. Tevin Jenkins, who was seen after yesterday's preseason game with the boot, limped out of the stadium. He ain't playing week 1. Cody Whitehair's been in and out with that hand issue. I think he's okay to play right now. He obviously played yesterday, but Lucas Patrick's hurt. You've got Darnell Wright, who's dealing with a little something. Nate Davis. Now, the flip side of this is maybe the Bears don't view those injuries as serious outside of Tevin Jenkins. For week 1, we feel good. But I think the more likely scenario is that they're going to add somebody to this offensive line. I just think you have to, right? I mean, you think of other depth pieces. I mean, do you keep – oh, by the way, I didn't mention Doug Kramer got injured yesterday. Do you keep Dieter Eichelin on the 53 because he's at least capable of playing center? Do you keep him initially? Do you go claim a center off waivers? Do you sign a Dalton Reisner? I'm a bit surprised by this one with Alex Leatherwood. I did not see that coming. I thought he was going to make the 53. And listen, Ryan Poles claimed him off waivers last year as a former first-round pick, and after 1 year, done. Like it just not even on the 53. And look, I mean, you have to commend it in a sense, right? Because a GM with an ego might sit there and say, you know what, I already claimed him last year, took on a little money to do so. We're going to keep him around. But he's saying, look, he's not good enough. Tyree Carter's better. Other players have played better. So at the end of the day, this regime's going to keep the players that deserve it. I think cutting P.J. Walker and keeping Tyson Bagent, even though it cost a little extra money to cut Walker, is a perfect example of that. Like, it would have made a ton of sense in the world to keep him along with Bagent. It would not have made sense to cut Bagent, let me be clear. But you could have understood why they kept P.J. Walker on the 53. They haven't. They've cut him. Same with Alex Leatherwood. Even though it hasn't completely looked great, you could be like, okay, he's developing. He looks a little better. Like, we invested there last year. Well, we'll keep him around for now. They're not doing that, man. If you're not living up to standard, you're out. I mean, it's as simple as that. So that's just how it goes. Let me know, do the Bears need to sign an offensive lineman? Type S for sign or P for pass. I do think they need to sign one. I don't think there's any question about that, so get your votes in right now. You think about the depth of the offensive line. Tyree Carter, I like where he's at. I think they feel pretty good about him. I'll tell you what, Larry Borum's been pretty solid in the preseason. I think as a swing tackle, he's serviceable. I don't know if he's ready to be a starter, but he's played some guard too, so maybe that's part of the Leatherwood decision of that. In an absolute emergency, Borum could also play guard. Maybe that's part of the thinking there. So that could be part of the reason. But with him and Carter and Patrick, I feel like you're still one light, right? Like, again, that's why I think they're going to claim somebody off waivers after this cut down period. So we'll see who that player is, but I definitely think more movement is coming on the offensive line. Maybe Kramer makes the 53 now. Lots of decisions still to be made. So if my math is correct, I think the Bears are down to 84 players. Got to get down to 53 between now and Tuesday. So more action to come. Be sure to subscribe. We'll have more videos, news, and analysis as things trickle through here. And that's where we're at now. P.J. Walker, Alex Leatherwood cut. We'll see who's next.